Hello, Internet. Welcome to another episode of Cocktails and Curveballs. We got Jim, we got Pat, Lee. Rest in peace, brother. We'll all get together at the viewing. We'll do a live recording from his viewing, and we'll get that posted. Thank you, as always, to our military. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do what we do here. Thank you to our first responders. You do a very thankless job, and we appreciate it. Let's get this thing rolling, huh? Jim, I know you got something you want to get going.
Yeah, man. So this week, and I don't know if anybody knows or is paying attention, but Pat Fitzgerald, head coach of the Northwestern University, got fired over hazing. Now the big thing is that supposedly he knew about it. Listen, this man has spent 26 years with that program, 4 as a player, 5 as an assistant, and 17 as a head coach. Class, pure class. The team played with class. Pat Fitzgerald, I know that's how he coached. But my question is so there's always a rites of passage when you make a team, okay? As a young player, you make a team, and we used to call it an initiation. Now they put this term on it. It's called hazing. And you get people that they come in, they're prima donna, I don't know, spoiled little fucks, I'm sorry. But they're not going to put up with it. They're not going to have the hazing. They're not going to have the initiation that every man goes through. It's kind of a rites of passage, especially at that level. And what do you guys think? I know I've gone through it to the extent of what other people may have gone through. I don't know. I know mine was relatively, I went through it, and when I was done, raise your arms. Yeah, I'm part of the team, let's move forward. And but I want to hear from you guys and anybody out there on what your opinion is on the initiation, the hazing, that people have to go, that people go through. Whether it's a military.
The terminology that you use there, I think, is a big difference, right? Hazing and initiation. And I mean, it might be the same thing, but I think just using, if you say, oh yeah, it was an initiation type thing, and as opposed to like hazing sounds so bad anymore,
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Is that this hazing, this term sounds, and now you don't even hear the term initiation, right?
Well, I'm gonna take it to a different perspective, and I agree with all that. By the way, I think you guys make valid points. And Fitzgerald, you're right. Also, Jim, he is a class act, and he's been a class act for pretty much his duration as a college coach. That being said, we touched about John Gruden, and anytime a coach gets canned for stuff like this, unless it's over the top bad, right? I mean, getting a DUI or crimes that you just can't cover up, I get it. But something like this, where I think it's kind of ticky-tack, I think a lot of people, I think if you took a poll, most people would say this is ticky-tack. I wonder, the same thing with Gruden, about the emails. Gruden getting fired over the emails. I feel like something else happened, man. Like he pissed off the wrong people. Because listen, if we open up the emails across the NFL, how many GMs, owners, coaches would be canned like yesterday? But they only do Gruden's. I mean, get out of here, man. So, but same thing with Fitzgerald. Part of me thinks that in this day and age, that dog don't hunt anymore, man. I mean, you can't do that shit. I disagree with that. I think you should be able to do it. And I think it's an integral part of team unity and camaraderie and all that stuff. I mean, you earn your stripes. That comes with playing big league sports. But I just think this world, man, we've touched about it, and I'm going to really try to walk a thin line. It's become so sensitive. Man, you can't do this. You can't do that. My feelings are hurt. It's the where we are as a society. I don't agree with it. I think 20 years from now, we're going to look back and say that was a mistake to implement those policies and those procedures. But until we get to that level where we can see the error of the way we're going, yeah, classy guys are going to get canned, and it's bullshit. It doesn't make sense to me. But I also wonder if you did an ample amount of research, I wonder, was it just this or was it something else? Because to me, this is really ticky tack.
Well,
I
and
don't know.
isn't there still a little bit of speculation as to like, did he know if this was happening, or are they firing because he didn't know? Is that still up in the air?
That's kind of
Because that seems like you're
what
getting
I'm
fucked
getting.
up. You're getting fucked on both sides there.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm getting too. It's kind of, well, you should have known. If you
Right.
didn't know, you should have known. So
Hey,
therefore, you're fired anyway.
Hey,
It's-
really quick.
I know he just signed a big fat contract not too long ago
Yeah.
that Northwestern just got out of. So here's the other thing. They kept all the assistant coaches. You guys know that?
They did, which is really kind of odd to me, right?
Yeah, I mean, so the head coach, he takes a brunt, and he's the one that maybe didn't know, but I will guarantee you some assistants and some graduate assistants and shit did know what was going on.
Well,
It was really that bad. There's also still a lot of speculation, guys, about, because there's a lot of upperclassmen, there's a lot of team guys that are coming out saying this is bullshit. Whoever's saying this, that didn't happen. Is there an initiation? Is there, if you want to use the term hazing? Of course there is. That's with any sports team. I don't give a shit. That's
Any
with the
college.
military.
Any college.
That's right.
Yeah.
Of course there is. But the thing is that to the extent, and then when they throw in the word sexual hazing and shit, oh my God.
Well, here's what I gotta say about all that is that it's odd to me. I mean, the optics are just goofy. I don't care if it's college football, Major League Baseball, NFL, hockey for that matter. When a coach gets canned, typically, okay, there's going to be an interim manager, coach, whatever. But over something like this, isn't it? I mean, how are you going to fire the head coach and the assistants get, they
get
a
the free
clean
pass.
slate?
They get a slide. Yeah.
They get a pass. I mean, I don't. And by the way, really quick before I forget, today I tried a new beer. I am drinking a tangerine cream ale from Black Eagle Brewery. It's pretty
Nice.
good. It's a pale ale. I don't generally dabble in pale ales. I'm not. I mean, they're all right. Just not my thing. But it's actually pretty good. Poured it into a chilled mason jar, so it's going down really tasty. And I'm afraid that I might not have the other 4 here by the end of the show. So there's that.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, I just heard from Lee's relatives. They passed on their regards to the show. Just want to be clear about that.
You guys are brutal.
We're gonna miss you, buddy.
Rest in peace, dude.
Yeah, we're gonna miss you.
Yeah.
So I'm more big news that's going around right now that I think is pretty interesting. I mean, maybe it's not, but the running back situation in the NFL, I think it's devolved in a way that I don't think that these guys really do get paid fairly, because in a league where it's what are you going to do for me next? If you're a smart businessman in this sport, right? It's not what you've done for me, it's what you're going to do. And I think in that regard, running backs, man, they take the brunt of it. So across sports, baseball, hockey, basketball, whatever sport, is there another position that the risk to reward factor is any lower than being an NFL running back?
I would say center. I would say center. Center's got to be close in the NBA. I mean, center's gone away. Is there even a center? I mean, I know there is. Okay, but do you remember the days where you had to have a dominant center to do anything? And I mean, you know that. I mean, now with teams chucking up 63 pointers a game, who gives a shit about a guy that owns the paint? I mean, I feel like centers. I mean, now a center is a luxury that a lot of teams don't have, and who gives a shit? And actually, okay, so go back and just my recent, you know, just without even having to think about it, the last 2, 3, 4 teams that have won the championship. Can you name a dominant center on that team? I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at the Warriors. They play 5 guards. Seriously?
Yeah. I don't think the Warriors, I think it just they don't have a guy on their roster right now that's above 6'9".
Okay. So I mean, so you want to talk about a devalued position. I mean, granted, there are still big guys coming out, and when they can play, you got Cousins, Boogie Cousins, you got, you know, some of these big guys. Yeah. You know, then fine, that's great, you know. But was there 2, 3 in the league? There's not very many.
A handful,
Well, true
a handful of good ones. True,
yeah. They can block shots, rebound, and actually get you 12 to 14. I mean, is that
even Jokic? I mean, he'll take you out to the 3-pointer and drain them all day.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody.
You know,
that's what's so hard is everybody's
absolutely.
like a stretch center now or a stretch
or
5, right? Like
it's a
they're all
forward
numbers.
Center.
They're
It's
just
like a
numbers
forward.
now.
Yeah, they're like they call them a forward center. It's almost like a hybrid.
Yeah.
They're not a true center.
Yeah.
I mean,
being a 5 doesn't necessarily mean that you're a center. You're just a 5 on the play sheet.
I mean, look at that Chet Holmgren. Do you know that Chet Holmgren? So they're not even calling him a center. They're calling him a forward. I'm sorry, he's 7'2". What
about that Wembanyama? That Wembanyama kid's like 7'5" or 7'6".
And he's a forward. He's a forward.
Yeah.
Of
He's like
course
a
he is.
guard.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
But yeah, so just to get back to the NFL running back thing, like, no. That's totally fine, and that's a great point on the center thing. But like, risk to reward, NFL running backs got to be the worst position in all of sports, right? Like,
I think so. I do.
I mean,
and you're seeing
they just
it right
don't
now.
get paid, and now there's such a stigma of if you're on the wrong side of 30. You're going to sign a 1-year deal to be, you know, and a 1-year deal and a 1-year deal. It's anything after that first rookie contract, unless you're Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, right.
You know, you have to be a top 5 guy. But like Austin Eckler, so he's the one that's causing the biggest stir about this right now. And he came out, he said he's pissed off that backup receivers get paid more than running backs. You know, and I
think he
makes a good point, but
I'll sum it up in one easy statement. Why drive when you can fly? Teams are it's a passing league, man. I mean, can you guys stop and imagine what Joe Montana and Dan Marino would throw for nowadays? You know, Dan Fouts, if they had today's, you breathe on a receiver, it's pass interference. Receivers push off all the way downfield, no flag. Your hand even grazes the shoulder pads of a quarterback after he releases the ball. It's 15 yards first down. I mean, it is catered to quarterbacks in the passing league. And unfortunately, what that's done is look what it's done to the running back position. No bigger occurrence that has happened this offseason tells me more about that than Dalvin Cook still doesn't have a home. Are you shitting me right now? Dalvin Cook? Dalvin Cook can't get a contract?
Look at the Saquon situation.
Okay. But and you're right. And Barkley is, I mean, but Dalvin Cook just spent the last 2 or 3 years maybe being the best running back in the league or top 3 anyways.
I saw last year kind of on his way down. You look at his yards per game or yards per carry average.
Right.
He's not catching the ball like he was.
But that's crazy, right? On his way down, and he's never even signed into second contract yet, right? Like he's looking for.
Well, and what is he? 20? Is he 26?
That's got to be somewhere around there. Yeah.
I mean, 26 is it? You know, the shelf life, and that's another thing too about running backs. the shelf life is what, 7 years, and that's average. Okay, so maybe you get 10 years out of running back, but typically, it's a tough position, man. It's a really tough position to play. If you're a running back coming out of college, man, I would almost I'd think about
Switch to the other side of the ball and play linebacker or something.
either
I
that,
mean, like those guys are getting paid.
or
Those guys are
be a
getting paid.
wideout, be a tight end, be something. But running backs, man, unless you are, top 2 or top 3, you just get, you're basically lining up every Sunday and for 2 hours running as hard and as fast as you can into a brick fucking wall. How does that feel, man?
Josh Jacobs, right? Like Josh Jacobs, he doesn't have a new deal yet, and he just lit it up.
Leading rusher in the NFL last year.
Yeah, and that's how much teams value running backs, right?
Right.
I'll let the 4th round pick out of Idaho State start for me next year. That's going to happen. That's going to happen for several teams. They're going to be starting a running back who's 22 out of Arkansas State, rookie, and he'll be carrying the ball every Sunday. You know why? Because he's making like 800 G's.
Yeah. Because they just called him up from the practice squad to suit up for this one.
Yeah, and you know why else? Because they're going to be handing the ball off like 13 times a game.
Right.
And throwing it the other.
It's pretty crazy.
You know, the numbers, as far as Saquon goes, the numbers are, so they just signed Daniel Jones to a big contract.
What the hell, dude? That was terrible.
But listen, here's the thing. Now they don't want to sign Saquon, but their numbers, the reason they signed Daniel Jones's big contract is because his numbers are so much better with Saquon in the lineup. His numbers are a franchise quarterback, but with him in the lineup. When he's not in the lineup, he drops off considerably.
Okay, so let me
sign Daniel Jones, but now they're not going to sign the reason why they signed him.
So let me ask you, Jim, are you if you're GM, the Giants, are you giving Barkley the money?
I'm not signing them. I'm not signing any running back long term. And when I say long term, I mean 4+ years.
Okay, well, I think Barkley wants 3 for, was it 90? Oh, no. What did he say? 3 for, I can't remember the number. Maybe it's 3 for 42. Is that right?
Well,
that seems reasonable.
I think it was 3 for 42. But he's unsigned. Dalvin Cook. I mean, and that's a dual threat running back right there. Dude can.
I think he's been a 4-time Pro Bowler.
Dude can take a screen pass and take it 90 yards, or you can just drop back and hand off to him 20 times a game. I mean, I hear what you're saying, that last year he didn't have his best year. I think he was hobbled a few games, but he still got a lot of value. And the fact that no team has come forward and been like, I mean, he's released. He can sign with anybody right now.
That's right.
And he's just hanging out.
Why is that happening? Why isn't Dalvin Cook? Why isn't Zeke? Now I know Zeke's been going down a couple, last few years.
Sure.
He's been outplayed by Pollard but why aren't these guys? It was like the Lamar Jackson thing. Why isn't somebody coming and knocking on door? You can't tell me everybody is set at running back.
No, I don't buy that.
Or couldn't use an upgrade to a Dalvin Cook.
Do you think maybe it might have something to do with being a locker room cancer? And not really cancer, because I haven't heard that about the guy, but maybe just he's a prima donna, or he's not a good team. I don't know.
I just think it's the exact subject that we're talking about. It's the running back position in general.
Right.
Everybody's looking for that bargain, and let's face it, you always have somebody every single year pop out of nowhere that was a 3rd round, 4th round pick, and pop out somewhere. So I think a lot of these teams, what they do is they're going to go into their training camps, and they're going to see what they've got. Okay, Dalvin Cook's in no hurry.
I think that's part of it also, is that he's like, somebody's gonna sign me.
Right.
Why get beat up in training camp? Why go through all that when he's he's proven. The
Yeah.
NFL teams know what Dalvin Cook.
He's-
They don't need
he's
to
also-
see him in training camp. You know what
He's
I mean?
also going to cost some coin too. Let's be clear about that.
Yeah.
Okay, right now,
Yes.
teams. There's several teams that are up to and touching the salary cap, and a lot of teams don't. I mean, they could always move things around, release a few players, restructure. Restructure is a huge deal right now. So if a team wants him, they could sign him. But you know what we're talking about. I mean, you want to dish out 45, mil for Dalvin Cook right now? Do we need that? And then trying to convince a GM when we really need this guy. Do you though? I mean,
Right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's where the running backs just, I mean, they get fucked. That's,
They do. They do
compared
because
to other position. If Dalvin Cook, somebody of Dalvin Cook's talents was a left tackle, he'd already be signed.
or he'd been one of the first to sign. And then
Yeah.
Wally even take it a step further. 15 years ago, Dalvin Cook, can you fathom the money that Dalvin Cook would
The Vikings never would have let him go.
probably, well, right, but the money they would have thrown
Yeah.
him.
Right,
I mean, and before
right.
the season ended, I mean, they'd have
Yeah.
locked him up. I mean, it's amazing to me, the evolution of the NFL, because you look, the guys that were worth so much money 20 years ago can't even get a cup of coffee right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, unless you're oh God, sorry guys. Oh, ooh, that beer tried to come back up. Unless you're like a Christian McCaffrey, right? But he does so much more. He does so much.
when he's not hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair,
Yeah.
let me ask you.
No, absolutely. But I think it takes such a rare athlete. It takes more than just being a guy that runs between the tackles, unless you're Derrick Henry. But I mean
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry.
He's on another planet.
Who's the other dude? Who's the other homeboy running back that was just stupid difficult to bring down from Seattle? He started with the Bills. Starts with an M, his last name.
Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch. That dude, if you guys haven't yet, and anybody listen to us, heed these words, man. If you're a big NFL fan, get on YouTube and check out it's Marshawn's greatest 20, something like that. Of his 20 greatest runs. Like all 20 of those runs, you're just like, I don't understand how he's still running down. I mean, dragging 4 guys behind him, running over defensive linemen, just stupid. It's like, it's against physics, man. Doesn't make any sense.
Marshawn Lynch as a person goes against physics, I think. Like,
Just doesn't give a fuck.
dude, he's just I think like a wild individual also though.
You know what? Let's not forget something about Marshawn Lynch. He actually graduated from Cal Berkeley.
Yeah.
Okay.
He played with Aaron Rodgers, right? Aaron Rodgers was his
isn't-
quarterback.
Yeah. This isn't a dumb man.
No.
No.
But he is who he is.
They
and
asked
that's
him,
cool.
Dan Patrick, he had Marshawn Lynch on. It was right after a weekend where he went off for a couple hundred yards. I mean, had, I don't know, 13 broken tackles, I mean, just the amount he had like 170 yards after contact, just something stupid like that, Xbox numbers. And Dan Patrick had him on his show. And Dan asked him, he said, well, so when you get the ball, take me through your way of thinking. When you get the ball, what's going through your head the moment you tuck the ball into your chest? What's going through your head? And Marshawn Lynch says, run through the motherfucker's face. They had to bleep out motherfucker, right? Because it's a family show. But that's what he said. Run through a motherfucker's face. Just think about that now. I'm going to run through that motherfucker's face, man.
Yeah.
I mean, how brutal. Dude, this is a running back position. He's not talking about get as many yards as I can or break a couple tackles. He's trying to run through a motherfucker's face.
Yeah, dude.
I love Marshawn.
That's all you need to know about Marshawn Lynch, man.
Well,
Dude,
so to tie in, this is a good little segue to tie in a Marshawn Lynch to maybe something different. Did you see? Because he's beloved in Seattle, right? Like the Beast Quake. He's got the Skittles with him. The hold my nuts when he's diving in the end zone.
I think he's even got a brewery downtown.
I wouldn't.
Lynch,
Dude, people in
I remember what's
Seattle, people
called-
in the Northwest love it. He's from Oakland. I mean, that's not that far south from, up in Seattle. But Marshawn Lynch, did you see the Derby chain that he gave Vladdy?
yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
okay, this is another point. I'm sorry, I'm kind of different tangent, but how cool is it that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is also Vladdy? I mean, it makes sense. Don't get me wrong, but like his dad is Vladdy. Senior is
Dad
Vladdy,
Vlad.
right? Like Vladimir Guerrero Senior is one of my favorite baseball players of all
Dad
time.
Vlad. There was
Of all time.
There was a stint in Senior's career that he was almost unpitchable. I
Well,
mean,
He couldn't get a pitch
He's the
by
best
the guy.
bad- He's
Yeah.
the best
Yeah.
bad ball hitter, bad
Yeah.
pitch hitter
Right.
that I've ever
And
seen play.
that's what's crazy is his claim to fame, right? Is like he's the best bad pitch hitter of all time.
yeah, and
And had
and
a
the-
cannon though, and had
Yeah.
an absolute hose from the outfield.
you know what my favorite part was is after we would 3-wood a ball 427 feet.
Yeah.
3-wood. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, a ball that was a ball in any ballpark. I mean, there's no way any guy should have swung at that.
No
And not only
gloves,
did he-
no
not
gloves,
only
bare
did
hand.
he- Not only did he, but he 3-run shot. I love seeing the pitcher's reaction. Just in disbelief, like I can't even believe he swung at that fucking thing. And then he
Right.
golfs it 427 yards. Good.
I like
God.
the check swing up around his shoulders that
Yeah,
he hit
yeah.
200 feet.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like, my God.
Yeah, we like nobody's swinging at that, Vlad. Nobody is swinging at that, man.
As the home run derby, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
That
So
was-
yeah, Marshawn. That was kind of the segue. Is Marshawn? They had a derby chain, and of course, right. This thing was in Seattle. Marshawn Lynch is there, and he's handing out the derby chain. But yeah, what did you guys think about the home run derby?
I think Arizona was gassed. I mean, am I wrong?
Yes.
I think Arizona
No.
was just gassed, man.
Dude, he had to have taken double the amount of swings as everybody else.
Oh, Jesus.
His pitcher was just machine gun, throwing them in there.
Yeah.
My favorite part of the whole home run derby was Adley Rushman.
Oh, that dude.
When he
God,
switched over to right-handed and hit every one of them out right-handed.
Oh my
after
God.
Left-handed.
And switches. Yeah.
Yeah, and then switches right hand. Yeah, started out hitting lefty, and then switches halfway through to righty and didn't miss a beat. Hit everyone out right-handed.
Yeah.
Should have
So
stayed right-handed the whole time.
And Adley Rutschman is an Oregon State Beaver, like
Yep.
huge in the Corvallis area and stuff. He had to have had so many people in the stands for him.
Oh yeah.
I think that part's super cool. And for anybody, if anybody watches this podcast, they probably know the parameters kind of the home run derby, that you get to pick your pitcher. The pitcher can throw it as hard as soft, in and out, wherever the pitcher wants to. But this is something that I didn't realize people didn't know, because I was watching this with my wife, and she was under the impression everybody had the same pitcher to make it even. So just in case anybody's watching this podcast doesn't know how the home run derby works, you get to pick your pitcher. You bring a pitcher.
Right.
And so I told, because Adley Rutschman, right, he had his dad thrown to him.
His dad. That's right.
Which happens a ton in the home run derby. Like, that's not a crazy thing. That happens quite a bit. But if anybody doesn't know how that works, the hitter gets to bring a pitcher to throw to them.
Sure.
And that's, most people that listen to this probably know that, but if the one or two that hear this.
Here's my favorite part of the derby. So as you guys obviously known me for years, and sure many people who watch the show are probably catching on. Huge Cardinals fan, right? I love seeing Adolis Garcia and Randy Arozarena.
Yeah.
Adolis Garcia is leading the AL in RBIs right now. Both made the All-Star team. Arozarena was runner-up champion for the home run derby. And John Zoliak, he got promoted to VP of operations, because why wouldn't he? John Zoliak traded those two guys for a pack of bubble gum and a bobblehead. So good job, John. That's my favorite part.
Did you see? And I don't mean to rub this in. I don't mean to rub this in because I'm sure you already know. But did you see the first inning of the All-Star game? Both of the guys you just mentioned made great catches in the first inning.
Of course they did, because they're not wearing birds on a bat. That's why.
Right.
They're not wearing birds on the bat. That basically, yeah. And also 15 games under 500. I'll just leave it there. Hey, so I want to ask you guys really quick, one really quick segment I want to ask you about, because I was thinking about this when we were talking about the running back position. Diggs. Any fallout going into the season, you think, or not so much?
Are you talking about with Stephon, Josh Allen?
Yes, sir.
I don't know. I'm not going to make too big of a deal out of it. I think they're both professionals. I think they're going to work through this for the better of the Bills. I do think that Stephon Diggs did have a legitimate bitch. He did stop. I don't know why, but the ball stopped going his way at the end of last year, the last few games. And so he does have a legitimate, you got a number one like Stephon Diggs, you're throwing the fucking ball.
Do you think that was by design, Jim? Do you think it was just coincidence?
I don't know. I think it could have been game flow. Just how things are going. It just happened.
It's hard to imagine. Diggs is a legitimate home run threat on every. I mean,
he's top 3, top 4 in the league.
Him paired with Josh Allen.
Right.
I mean, I think you have to almost have to talk about those two as a pair.
Right.
Because Diggs was good in Minnesota.
He was really good.
He was good. He was really good, but he took it to another level with Josh Allen. I mean, I think it's one of those things that you have to talk about him as a tandem.
Right. And that's correct. But that's why I think that I think it's going to be okay. I think you're still going to see Josh Allen, maybe even more so now. You're going to see Josh Allen to Stephon Diggs. You're going to see it all year.
Well, because if it wasn't talked about before, it's on the table now. Now it's an issue. Also, Tyreek Hill says he guarantees
2,000.
He guarantees 2,000. I want to know right now. Let's just get rapid fire. Does he get it, Tom?
Over under 1,099.5 yards for Tyreek Hill. Over under. I'm gonna say fucking under.
I am too.
I'm gonna say no shot in hell. And I don't think that, and that's not necessarily a knock. I'm not saying, Tyreek Hill couldn't do it, because the fucking guy is a racehorse. If he ran just a go if throughout 60 minutes of football, if Tyreek Hill said, I've trained in the off season to sprint down the field, I can do it 30 times a game. I'll do it and then take 2 plays off and then do it again, take 2 plays off, do it again, whatever. Maybe he could. And you just said, okay, Tua, throw it down there as far as you fucking can throw it down there, and we'll see what happens. But they got Jalen Waddle, right? Like,
that's where I was going to go.
They just have. There's no way Tyreek Hill gets 2,000 yards, and it's not a knock on him. It's because there's other weapons. There's just no way that they can feed him enough times.
Right.
I think, in my personal opinion, that he can get 2,000.
Okay. Well, he would have to. I mean, okay, you're talking about him having 150 yards, 175 yards every game. And even if he is, even if he's on his game every day, is the offensive line going to be on their game every day? Is Tua or whoever's throwing him the ball going to be? I mean, it's a 2-part series, so I think he's going to have an incredible year just because now he's come out and said this, so he's going to try to have an incredible year. But I mean, 2,000, man. Good God.
Okay, so I really went hard against under, but I just used my brain, definitely not a calculator. 2,000 yards in now 17 games is only it's a touch under 118 a game. now that doesn't seem so impossible. Now,
Okay.
I mean, right? Like
With the year-
all of a sudden to me, that's like, oh shit.
Now it seems doable because he's gonna listen. He's gonna throw a couple 180-yard games up on the board. I mean, just book that.
200 plus yard, like he's very
Book that.
capable.
Yeah, book
Okay,
that.
but here's the thing. Justin Jefferson last year, the season that he had, and he didn't even get 1,900. And I say didn't even. He had 1,800 and change.
Which
The
is
season
stupid.
he had.
Stupid.
I know.
This is
So
something I feel
2,000
like I
is
should
like-
know. What's the most in a season? Was that
Right.
it?
You know, and I don't think there's been a 2,000-yard receiver. So I think it's.
I don't think so. I don't think
don't
so
think
either,
so.
right?
I want to say it's like 1947, maybe. I think.
Calvin Johnson?
Yeah, I think it's Calvin
I
Johnson.
think it is.
Yep.
But
So-
yeah,
We'll get our research team on it if you're watching this. We'll let you know next episode.
yeah.
Yeah, are we getting together this afternoon to release balloons for Lee, or are we doing that tomorrow? I
was actually after this I'll start heading your guys' way. I heard the viewing was on Tuesday, so
Tuesday. Nice.
Poor Lee.
it's sad. It's gonna, when it comes to light what happened, how he passed off this earth.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the one to release all the information, but it's gonna be a bad deal. People are really gonna see Lee Morley
Didn't we say
in a different light. They're gonna see this guy in a different light.
unless I misheard? So he shotgunned a beer and they played a prank on him. It was actually moonshine. So he basically just,
I heard that was the start of it. I heard that's what set him off.
Oh, right. And then he
That's
shit
what I
himself.
heard.
Oh, okay.
No, I heard it was way worse than that. I heard it gets very dark after that.
Right. Well, I mean, you shotgun a 12-ounce can of moonshine. I mean, it's probably not going to end well, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So.
Lucky guys.
No, just kidding. If anybody's listening to this, if you're a big Lee Morley fan on this show, he's just getting nose surgery. He hated having noses that looked like all of ours, so he's getting a reduction.
Yeah.
He said he wasn't camera ready, so.
Yeah. I look like I ran into a fucking brick wall, looked like several times. So.
Yeah, you want to talk about running backs running into a brick wall, dude? That's what I fucking look like.
Right here, man. Yep.
Hey, did you guys? I know this is like a little bit late, but did you guys hear how many Jello shots the LSU fans had at the College World Series?
It was.
I didn't know.
10 times what any other school did.
They set the record.
Yeah.
Apparently, and I didn't even know it was a thing, but like all the Jello shots that they take out there in Omaha, you like put it towards what team you're repping. And yeah, like LSU had like hundreds of thousands of them. They beat the next. I think Ole Miss from a few years back had set the bar, and LSU had beat it by like a couple 100,000.
Yeah,
I might be talking out my ass.
No, it was crazy. They did.
It's like an insane amount of number.
Yeah, LSU, and let's not forget, they went 1 and 2 in the draft.
Yeah.
Well, so what if the four of us, when Lee comes back from nose surgery, what if the four of us get all of our fans together and we break that fucking record? I'm good for probably $3,000 Jello shots, probably.
Oh,
so
shit.
but it's like over a week and a half, right? So like,
yeah.
Oh, week and a half, 2 weeks. What college are we gonna rep though?
Hey, how about we just rep
a team that's not even there?
How about we rep our
even
podcast and we challenge other podcasts?
Yeah, cocktails and curveballs. I feel like that's right up our alley. And all 17 of our followers, I'm just kidding.
No, you're not.
No, that's pretty
No,
close.
I think that's pretty fucking close, actually.
I'm just saying, I feel like we could do real damage, man. Yeah.
Yeah, because I guarantee those Jello shots that they're making down there, I bet we could drink we could eat a lot of them. Do you eat or drink a Jello shot? Dude,
I could wage war. I would make that Jello shot my bitch. That's how that would go down.
Just So the real MVP of that, right, is whoever's making all this Jello shot. Hundreds of thousands of Jello shots, right?
And you know they gotta, they probably have equipment. I mean, to measure
Have to.
every fucking, oh, Jesus Christ, right? I mean, to measure I mean, I just kind of wonder who's paying for that shit. No way it's the university.
You know what though? It starts to get later in the night, post midnight, which is what PM stands for.
Thank you.
No, wait.
No, I'm pretty sure it doesn't.
I don't know. Whatever
AM.
PM stands for.
Post midnight.
After midnight. No, I'm sorry. AM is after midnight.
That's right.
So do you think how watered down are those things?
Well,
you're feeding people just Jello at that point, right?
Yeah, I would. That's what. Yeah, you would have to say, this is just Jello.
This is Jello. This still counts, dude. This still counts if you guys want to play this stupid fucking game or whatever. But like, you guys don't need any more.
But you know what? Universities are littered with just wealthy fraternities and parents that went to this school. They're all alma mater. I mean, so it's nothing for one of these parents that have more money than God to just say, here, I'll pay for it. It's fine.
Here's my card. Keep this thing on file.
Well, just association at LSU,
Yeah, just have the 3 bars that we own make the
Yeah, and they're probably $2 Jello shots, right? Like $3 Jello shots.
Yeah. So Ty, maybe the bar that you own, it could make the shots that we consume. So
okay. Yep. You got it. They're gonna taste like shit, probably. If they come from my bar.
Nice.
It is shit, Austin. Okay. So okay, real quick. This is just real quick. I want to get this in. I know you guys are Great Falls boys. I'm sorry if that's putting that out there too much. I have been getting super heavy into American Gladiators lately. They have a documentary out on Netflix. There's another documentary out on ESPN Plus. I loved it when I was a kid. And it just comes from an era of which they talk about it in these documentaries, right? Like, Arnold Schwarzenegger, one of the biggest stars in the world. There's so many of these, Sylvester Stallone, right? Everybody's just juiced to the fucking gills at this point in the early 90s and stuff, right? So these American Gladiator documentaries, are super cool. But there's a guy from Great Falls, Jim Califat from CMR.
Califat,
Yep. You guys have got to be like right around the same age. I was just curious if you guys know much about this guy.
He's like 4 or 5 years older than I am.
Yeah. He's quite
he's got to be probably close to 60.
Is he a big deal? I mean, do people know of this guy?
The dude, oh yeah. The dude was
and I'm sorry also, I mean, all this shit's out, it's public knowledge, but he's Laser from American Gladiator. Monster.
Yeah,
Monster.
Huge. Yeah.
I saw he's a Montana State linebacker.
Yeah, he was huge athlete.
Yeah, he still gets talked about in Great Falls.
On that note, I want to ask you guys. You made me think about it. You guys seen John Wick 4 yet?
No. Any good?
Oh,
yeah.
Man,
bang, shoot him up.
Gotta check out John Wick 4, man. It's pretty good. Yep.
I just watched Fast 10 yesterday. It's pretty good.
Oh, was it?
But yeah, you got to be in that. You got to understand what the Fast and Furious is about. Listen, man, no way, none of this.
Please, hold on. This will be a great clip. Jim, can you please let us know what is the Fast and the Furious all about?
It's just about goddamn entertainment. Take it for what it is. All right? Listen, Dom Toretto, as badass as he is, he's not pulling down 2 helicopters with his goddamn Chargers.
No, he's not.
It's not happening. Okay, I mean, but if you just take it as an entertainment, it's pretty cool. A lot of good looking ladies in there, a lot of good looking cars and shit. If you just take it for what it is and just think Dom Toretto is the baddest mother effer in the world, man. And you just watch it. Just watch it.
So you're just saying, just believe.
Well, you just watch it. You just watch
believe.
it for what it is.
And also, I'm sorry, but the only answer to the question that I asked you is family.
That's right.
Right? What is the Fast and Furious movies all about?
It's family.
It's family, right? Is that not what Vin Diesel's character says in every movie?
And a whole bunch of times. And not
Yeah.
just Vin Diesel's character.
Right.
Everybody.
Wait,
It's all
Vin
this
Diesel, what is Vin Diesel? What, he's got to be like 52 now. I mean,
yeah.
He's too old to be fucking jumping cars and shit.
I feel like that's
what I like about it though is that they're bringing back they bring back the old characters from
yeah.
Is Paul Walker back in it?
No. He's got kind of a cameo where they flash back to a previous one. So he's got kind of a cameo, but as far as no,
it's too bad that whole thing wasn't a just a joke for him to come back in Fast and Furious 27.
Oh God, that's horrible. No.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
That'd be bad.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was bad enough bringing Han back from Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. It was bad enough bringing him back.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we've also maxed out our Fast and Furious talk here.
Fast and Furious, dude is always eating. Do you notice that? Every time
yeah.
they show, he's eating something. It's like it reminds me of Brad Pitt in what was that movie they robbed that casino? Dude is eating nachos. He's eating shrimp cocktail. Like every time they show Brad Pitt, he's eating in that fucking movie, man. It's like, dude,
Ocean's 11 or whatever.
11. Like every single time they show,
Yeah.
he's munching on something, man.
I'd say we almost got a little too fast and too furious.
Yeah, I think that's true.
They should call one of those movies that. So anyway, we like to end our show. That's a joke because that is one of them. We like to end our shows. A curtain call, something that just we like to bring to light that makes us happy, makes us sad, gets us in our feels. Let me know, guys. You guys got something?
I do. Right here, boys. I know it's hard to see, but I'm going to go
we
with
can see that pretty clearly.
The McElhaney Company and Tabasco Sriracha.
Wow, that's got to be new, huh?
So you know the shortage of the rooster. I call it the rooster because I don't even know what it's called. The other sriracha with the rooster on it. The shortage, can't find it anywhere and stuff. A buddy of mine ran into this the other day at a corner market something, but it's Tabasco Sriracha. I got to tell you, delicious. So that's my curtain call. Thank you, Tabasco, for replacing what was a one-time the irreplaceable.
And if you have any questions about what the best sauce is for whatever you're eating, let us know because Jim's kind of our sauce guy. If you need to know, shoot us a comment, ask us. We'll get back to you with Jim's favorite sauce.
Deal.
Pat, what's up, man? What do you got?
My curtain call goes to the people, whoever that is, whoever has that wonderful job, that keep the doggy bag dispenser filled at the parks. Because I took Diesel over to the local park just a few blocks away from our house yesterday. 3 times, unfortunately, I had to visit that dispensary. 3 times, man. Like 3 times I had to go get a bag. I'm just like, God bless your heart for keeping this bag dispenser full, man, because my 196-pound freaking Great Dane apparently feels the need to shit 3 times at a park. Not once, 3 times. So good times picking that up, but thank you for keeping the bag dispenser full. Rock on.
Hell yeah. And is that not just a weird feeling when you got to pick up, you're like looking somebody in the eye and you're picking up your dog's shit?
Yeah, gagging, you know.
No, and you can see, like, you got to walk around with a fucking doggy bag of shit until you
I
can get it to the next can.
You know, yeah, they say the dogs, you know, that they don't, or some people say that, you know, they don't have any much of an expression. I start picking up his shit and he turns around and looks at me and I can't help but think he's just being like, that's right, bitch.
Yeah, well, what's the saying that aliens, if they were to actually look down on us, they would think dogs ruled Earth?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 He's that big dope has got me trained pretty well. So cheers to him.
Yeah, cheers to that, Diesel.
Yeah.
Mine goes out to 7-Elevens. It was just 7-Eleven the other day. They do free Slurpees on that day. And they're the best, man. 7-Elevens, if you need them in a pinch anytime, anywhere, find a 7-Eleven.
Right on.
All right, guys. Hey, Lee, get better. We'll see you soon, buddy. For you two, you guys look great. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. And cheers to cocktails and curveballs, man.
Cheers.
Hey, where can we find cocktails and curveballs?
We can find well, if you can't find them there. If you want to find cocktails and curveballs, well, if you're hearing this, you're probably watching us on YouTube, which you should. We've got an Instagram account. It's Cocktails and Curveballs. Facebook, it's Cocktails and Curveballs. You can email us if you're really getting wild with it. It's cocktailsandcurveballs@gmail.com. And we'll respond. Whatever you guys want to know. You guys keep liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, doing the whole thing. We're getting really, really close. We're dialing it in on the next person that we're going to have on this podcast. If Lee's not back, maybe he's our fourth, but we'd really like it to be a fifth. Fifth for a fifth, you know. We'll send you some good stuff. It'll be a really good time. So yeah, do all the stuff you're supposed to do. We're honing in on somebody.
I don't.
All right, guys.
Good.
All right, till
Cheers.
next time.
Thanks, everybody. Cheers.
Cheers, everybody. Enjoy